Kiev authorities continue to try to strike vital targets in cities of Russia, including Moscow and St. Petersburg.
Any country, any member state should decide for itself. And now, as for the projects in energy, we might expand our cooperation in the field of nuclear power because we've already started working together. Visit to Kazakhstan is almost over. You were received at the highest level. How do you assess the prospects of cooperation? Well, I assess them as good. Kazakhstan, as I said, is not just our ally or reliable partner, but it's important that Kazakhstan is successfully developing under the guidance of President Tokayev. It shows stable growth, sustainable growth, reliable growth. And social and political situation in the country is stable, which is very important to be able to plan affairs in the economy, to make investments into the economy of Kazakhstan. I've mentioned almost 30 billion of trade turnover between our countries, and it continues to grow. Traditionally, we have such domains of cooperation as space exploration, energy, and these days, high technology. And now, as for the projects in energy, we might expand our cooperation in the field of nuclear power because we've already started working together. And Kazakhstan is the largest uranium producer in the world. And we are present at the uranium field in Kazakhstan. And in industry, we have good prospects, especially in industrial cooperation. One of the issues was and partially still remains a problem of settlements, but more than 80% of all the settlements are now being done in national currencies. And this, of course, makes our work easier in finances. And besides, we have the humanitarian ties between our peoples at a very good level, because Kazakhstan is basically a Russian-speaking country. I guess you felt it yourself. And unfortunately, there are always a lot of people who have their own opinion about how should be done, or who are critical about what's going on, both in Russia and in Kazakhstan. And this position, this criticism is not always in the interest of the states, of the Russian state in this particular case. It's not always beneficial. I believe we need to do everything to make the ties stronger and not to make steps that would destroy our relations, undermine our relations. For example, in the field of energy, we have some traditional things, but nevertheless, we might have some large-scale projects in energy transportation to the third countries via the territory of Kazakhstan. And traditionally, we have the situation where in one of the Kazakhstan regions, they lack, for example, natural gas, and in the other areas, they have surplus of this resource, and we need to join our efforts. We supply something to Kazakhstan, we receive something from Kazakhstan, and Kazakhstan has a vast territory, and we have a vast territory, and sometimes it is more profitable to exchange like this than to extract something or to produce something in our own territory. So I believe we have very good prospects for the future. And yesterday we spoke about this with President Tokayev in informal environment. Entire evening over the dinner we spoke about these prospects. Once again, I assess them highly positively. The CSTO has nothing to do with this, and I've spoken about this on many occasions. Everything that happened there has nothing to do with the CSTO, because there was no external aggression against Armenia. The CSTO is supposed to protect its member states from the external aggression, and the Nagorno-Karabakh situation was a peculiar case because Armenia did not recognize Nagorno-Karabakh as part of this state, or it did not recognize it as an independent state. So everything that happened in Karabakh, from the legal standpoint, was not directly related to the CSTO. So claims that the CSTO was supposed to fight inside this enclave, it sounds odd, isn't it? But nevertheless, it's a very sensitive topic, and from the sidelines, it's always easy to give various estimates. From the inside, it's always much more difficult. In my view, any country, any member state should decide for itself what's in its national interest, and we will respect this choice and this decision. That's one. And two, Armenia has not declared it withdrawing from the organization. It just said that they are taking some time and they're suspending their participation, but they support all the documents that are adopted, including during today's session, during today's negotiations. And they draw our attention to this. If this is true, then there is a chance that Armenia will go back to the full-fledged participation within this organization. We'll see. Once again, I will repeat it. The final decision is with the member state.
Every target will be engaged using relevant instruments and weapons. For example, using a hypersonic missile against a minor target makes no sense, because it's like firing a cannon against sparrows. But we will use every weapon at our disposal, without ruling out the use of Oreshnik missile complex against military and defense industry targets or centers of decision-making, including those in Kiev. Keeping in mind that, as I said, the Kiev authorities continue to try to strike vital targets in cities of Russia, including Moscow and St. Petersburg.
Don't miss out. Log on to oneindia.com for more updates.